Welcome to The Explainer. We're doing something a little different today. We are completely stripping away the poetry, tossing out the rom-com tropes, and looking at the absolute hard science of relationships. Honestly, I was amazed to dive into what is actually happening in our brains, from that very first spark of attraction, right through to commitment, the sheer agony of heartbreak, and ultimately, the incredible healing power of neuroplasticity. So let's map out the life cycle of love.
Okay, let's dive into this because it totally shifted how I view romance. For centuries, right, we've treated love as this abstract, magical emotion. It's in songs, it's in movies, but it turns out it's actually a primal, hardwired survival mechanism. We're talking about a biological drive that is just like thirst or hunger, deeply embedded in our biology for one main reason: to ensure the survival of our species.
Section 1. Your brain on romance. You know those early signs of a new crush? You get the sweaty palms, the racing heart, those undeniable, crazy, emotional butterflies? Well, beneath all of that is a very concrete, physiological reality. When love strikes, your brain literally lights up like a pinball machine. Up to 12 different areas instantly begin working together to release this massive cascade of neurochemicals. It's not just a feeling, it's a highly coordinated biological event.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is a tiny, primitive region deep inside the brain called the ventral tegmental area, or VTA for short. fMRI scans from researcher Dr. Helen Fisher actually show that when people look at a photo of a brand new partner, their VTA lights up like crazy. And get this is the exact same region of the brain connected to meeting basic needs. It's the same part that fires when you grab a glass of water because you're parched, or when you finally eat after starving all day. It completely proves that early romantic love isn't just an emotion. It is a profound biological drive motivating you to pursue a reward. So let's look at the chemical cheat sheet behind this drive. First up, the VTA pumps out dopamine, which gives you that massive rush of exhilaration and intense passion. But while that's going up, your serotonin levels take a huge nosedive. And low serotonin is directly associated with obsessive-compulsive behaviors. So yeah, that finally explains why we obsessively refresh our phones or overanalyze a simple "hey" text from a crush. Later on, as things get more physical, your brain releases oxytocin. That's the cuddle hormone, which builds deep trust. Meanwhile, vasopressin steps in to lay the real groundwork for long-term attachment. But here's the catch. While all these reward centers are firing on all cylinders, something else is actively powering down: your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain responsible for critical thinking, cognitive reasoning, and basically making accurate assessments of other people. It actually deactivates during this infatuation stage. So when people say love is blind, they are being neurologically literal. Your brain is actively suppressing your ability to see your new partner's flaws.
Section 2. Building the long-term bond. Of course, that blinding infatuation eventually has to settle. To really understand long-term attachment, we have to look back 4.4 million years. Anthropologists suggest that human pair bonding likely evolved around this time in our early ancestors like Ardipithecus ramidus. You see, as our ancestors began walking on two legs, females had to carry infants in their arms. That made it absolutely crucial to have a partner sticking around to help protect and provide for them. Evolution essentially required us to form a team to rear our highly dependent young, meaning attachment is quite literally an evolutionary survival tactic.
And this brilliantly illustrates how, because of this intense survival need, our brain strictly categorizes the types of bonds we form. Romantic love is marked by that fiery, high arousal and massive dopamine hits. Platonic love, on the other hand, relies on the calm, secure contentment of oxytocin and vasopressin, but it completely skips that intense, fiery passion. Your brain draws a very firm line between the intense love for a partner and the calm love for a close friend. The brain also draws a hard line between wanting someone and simply liking them. Finding a face attractive or just really enjoying someone's company, that liking phase, activates the left side of the VTA. But deeply wanting someone, that intense romantic pursuit we just talked about, that activates the right VTA. So simply admiring someone is a completely different neurological process than being driven to pursue them as a mate.
Section 3. The addiction of love. That intense wanting leads us to a seriously fascinating scientific metaphor. As biological anthropologist Dr. Helen Fisher puts it, intense, passionate romantic love is a natural addiction. Let that sink in. When you're falling in love, you are hijacking the exact same mesolimbic reward pathways that get activated during substance abuse or even behavioral addictions like gambling. Seriously, think about the clinical traits of addiction. It seems wild from the outside, but neurologically, besotted lovers exhibit literally all of them. There's craving, that intense yearning just to be with the person. There's tolerance, where you seek to interact with them more and more frequently, often totally sacrificing your own schedule or self-care to do it. Then you have withdrawal, the anxiety and physical lethargy you feel when you're apart. And finally, relapse, where a simple cue, like hearing a specific song or walking past a certain coffee shop, compulsively triggers obsessive thinking about them long after a breakup.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 4, the neuroscience of heartbreak.
Because if love is an addiction, then a breakup is a brutal, brutal withdrawal. When you are rejected by a partner, it doesn't just hurt emotionally, it actually hurts physically. fMRI scans of heartbroken individuals show massive activation in the insular cortex. And this is the exact same part of the brain that processes the distress of physical pain. So to your brain, a broken heart registers with the exact same neurological reality as a sprained ankle or taking a physical blow.
But here is the cruelest biological irony. Our brains really do us dirty here. The VTA, that intense craving center, stays highly active after rejection. You are no longer getting the reward, right? But the craving engine is still running at full speed. Your brain just keeps the stress alarm ringing, desperately driving the urge to reconnect, trying to fix the loss of this vital survival bond. And it leaves you feeling entirely, completely overwhelmed.
Which brings us to Section 5, rewiring the relational brain.
So the crucial point is, we aren't just at the mercy of our primitive chemistry. The big takeaway here is neuroplasticity, which is the brain's incredible ability to reorganize itself. We are never permanently stuck in our heartache, because the physical grooves of your brain can literally be resculpted by building new, healthy relational habits.
So how do we actually do that? Well, we have a concrete playbook for healing based straight out of neuroscience. Step 1 is emotional labeling. Simply putting your feelings into words activates the prefrontal cortex, which actively turns down those blaring alarm bells in the amygdala. Step 2 is mindful pausing. Taking just a quick 3-second breath before reacting during a conflict strengthens your prefrontal cortex's regulation over your limbic system. And step 3 is micro moments of positivity. Sharing small, everyday joys with others actually rebuilds trust and rewires your reward circuits back toward healthy connection. Because love acts like an addiction, one of the absolute best ways to heal is through reward replacement. You basically have to replace the dopamine you were getting from your ex with healthy alternatives. Exercise triggers dopamine and endorphins, elevating your mood and reducing pain. Socializing with your close friends activates the nucleus accumbens and releases oxytocin, giving you that calm, secure attachment. And engaging in self-expansion, like learning a totally new hobby or reinventing yourself, provides a fresh surge of dopamine through novelty. It naturally and effectively rewires your brain away from the past.
Understanding the biology of love really means realizing that every single interaction, every shared laugh, and every boundary you set is literally shaping the physical structure of your mind. You are the architect of your own social brain. So, as you move forward in your own life cycle of relationships, I'll leave you with this. Will you let your primal neurochemistry control you, or will you use neuroplasticity to intentionally wire your brain for deeper, better connections?
Wow, we're already at the end of the video. Come on, watch other fun videos too, and don't forget to click subscribe to the BrainBubble channel.